Hey everybody, welcome to Bura. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how Udemy forces instructors to sell their courses at a lower price and it's impossible to opt out of. Alright, so let's take a look at the stock here. Now, as you can see, the stock market is not doing well today. So we have the Dow Jones down, S&P down, the NASDAQ down, and the VIX is of course up here. Now, again, depending on where you were today, it was actually up quite a bit, but the VIX has now gone down just a little bit. Now, of course, when these are all down and the VIX is up, well, guess what? Udemy is most likely going to go down. And as you can see, like even since I've started talking, it's gone up a bit. But nevertheless, let's take a look at everything here. It is exactly, what is that? 37% down from open. And we also have, let's see, 40% or 41% down from the IPO price, and from the all-time highs we have 55 or 45% down. So basically, what there's this is a growth stock, and obviously in the current environment the growth stocks are not going to be doing as well. So please take a look at all of these just to make sure. Now again, I don't think Udemy is a short. I would not be comfortable shorting Udemy at all. Right, so I've always said that because the product is good, but it needs some tweaking. And today, I'm going to be talking about something that completely erodes instructor profitability. And one of the things that there's a very simple fix to this, and they just refuse to do it. And I'm going to kind of go over why they're doing it, and what would happen if things were to change. Okay, so one of the things, they have these pricing tiers. And you can see here, like, they have all of these different, they definitely have all these different currencies here. Maybe zoom in a bit. So, you have, like, US dollars is 19, British pounds is always more, Japanese yen. And then we could probably go into Google and find out they're mostly roughly to this here. Now, in some cases, like, the British pound, it's always more expensive than the USD here. But you can see Canadian dollar is more. Let's see, is there anything else? The Australian dollar is kind of the same as Canadian dollar, even though, like, it's kind of weird. The Canadian dollar is worth more than the Australian dollar, and yet it's the same price. Now, one of the things that I never really understood or got a clear answer on is I'm sure they find a way so that people don't just manage to use some kind of VPN or something to get courses, because, the INR here, right? So if we just, Google, INR to USD, right? It's a little bit less. And that makes sense because, with India, it's more about volume and less about price. But that's not really what happens in practice here, all right? So let's just kind of go back to the pricing matrix here. And the thing is that they have the minimum here. And you'll notice that in INR, which is India, they have a not applicable, okay? Because basically what they do is they use their quote unquote machine learning to drive this price down. Now, sometimes the price is so low for a course that it's almost not even worth it. Like, after everything is said and done, the instructor gets like 60 cents. And I wish I was joking, right? It's even less than if you were to sell your app for $1 on the App Store and you're selling a whole course for that, right? So one of the things it would be good is if you could kind of opt out of that here, right? And the thing is that they have this deals program here, right? And it's kind of an all or nothing thing. And what it does is that it allows Udemy to promote this, your course, at a discount here. And it does work out quite well. However, the thing is that, it's a one-click box. One thing I would like to do, and what I'd like to see Udemy do, is allow me to opt out of certain markets for that low pricing. Because first, I think that there's a lot of, shenanigans. Well, people will try to use VPNs to get a lower price. That probably doesn't happen very much, but I bet you some people who have purchased my courses have done that here. But I would just like to be able to opt out of certain regions, and I like the floor of $9.99. Now, what they don't want, they really want you to do this because they really want to grow as quickly as possible. And I've always said that the best way for them to grow is for the instructors to promote their own courses here, and they really don't want you to do that. And despite everything on here, it's almost like every policy change that they do, it doesn't allow you to promote your courses, right? They don't allow unlimited free coupons, which we've talked about. Their coupons kind of expire, which is a really dumb thing. They should probably get rid of that. Those are two things that are really big. They nerf the affiliates, because I used to make a lot of money with affiliates, and I think affiliates are great because they promote your course left, right, and center, personally. In fact, I get a lot of affiliates on my own site, Mammoth Interactive. If you are an affiliate, you can always contact us through the contact form, and we can set you up there. We have a really good rate. But nevertheless, they definitely don't want you to promote it. And the thing is like, it's very simple. Let's say I have an email list of, let's say, 10,000 people. And I have I have many options, but let's say I have two clear options. One, I can host my courses on Thinkific or Teachable, and I can promote it through there. Or I can promote the courses through Udemy, right? And set it up there. Now, the thing is that if I go to Thinkific and Teachable, I can charge a little bit higher price. I'm not getting subjected, like if someone in India wants to pay $9.99 instead of like the $4 or $3 US that they will end up paying, well, they're going to pay $9.99, right? That's just what it is, right? So, I'll make more money there. But like even then, I could probably charge more. I can charge like a bundle or something like that. So let's say I have 10 courses, a list of 10,000 people, and I sell all those courses as a bundle for, let's say, I don't know, $49.99. Well, I can do that on Thinkific and Teachable, right? But I cannot do that on Udemy. I cannot sell bundles on Udemy, right? I cannot bundle my courses on Udemy and sell them there. The App Store has this feature, right? All other marketplaces have that feature, but Udemy doesn't. And that's what I'm trying to say, that Udemy doesn't do a lot of the things other marketplaces do, because they're trying to sacrifice the marketplace for their subscription business. And I think that's a totally bad thing to do. And the reason for that is, well, again, looking at Steam in the App Store, they don't do it that way, right? And we've talked about that in depth. But nevertheless, the thing is that if I go back to that example of 10,000 people onto my bundle of $49.99, or I promote it through Udemy, right? The links start to expire and I cannot leverage those sales. So let's say I managed to have a really good list, and of those 10,000 people, I don't know, let's say 1,000 people buy my courses at $9.99, right? So, I've made about $10,000. And that doesn't do anything to move my courses up the ranks, right? And that's a huge problem, because I cannot leverage that money. That's the whole point of going to a marketplace, is to leverage your traffic and sales to something else. And that's the way Udemy used to work, by the way. It used to work like that right before they did that disastrous price change. And again, when I say disastrous, an internal leak got to me, and they said that the revenue was down 90%. And I'll talk about that. I could almost talk about that for a whole week. But nevertheless, before then, like in 2015, things were working quite well. And it's their algorithm change where they focus a lot more on engagement rather than sales, which will really harm the platform in the long run. And I'm saying this because Steam doesn't work like that. The App Store doesn't work like that, right? So they need to do a lot of things to change that. And one of the things is for me to be able to have just a little bit more freedom with all of the things that they do in their deal programs. Like, I'd love to be able to opt out of this here, because I know people in India will pay me personally $9.99 for my course. I know that. And some people won't, but what they want to do is they want to maximize, their growth at the expense of, frankly, the instructors. And again, the biggest bearish case for Udemy is that they don't attract new talent. I cannot stress how much that is a problem for them, because one, instructors will get burnt out. I see it all day, every day. And what happens is that they attract someone, they make a lot of money, and then they get burnt out, and then they just go away, right? I've seen that again and again and again, time after time after time. And then there's people like me who love doing this, right? Who love making these courses, and they just kind of stick here no matter what. but not everybody's like that. You know, like it's difficult. Not everyone is set up to be an entrepreneur, right? And what Udemy does is they tend to favor more of those people that, you know, don't want to be an entrepreneur. But if you want to make a marketplace is full of entrepreneurs, right? Not instructors. And that's a huge problem with Udemy. And again, even if they do and are successful of selling their personal subscription to their whole huge base, expect it to be very short-lived, and definitely Udemy is not an exitable company if this doesn't change, right? And we'll know this, you know, every quarter. If you start to see the revenue of the marketplace go down, that is the real barometer of success. It's not the subscription, it's the marketplace, because it's their differentiating factor, right? It's just what makes Udemy great. It's their marketplace, and they're really kind of stifling it as hard as they can. It's like it's like they're doing that on purpose to sell their subscriptions. And I know that the evaluations of subscription businesses are better. But you know what? They could easily do subscriptions on the marketplace. Just allow each individual instructor or company to start selling a subscription with a base floor of $9.99. I think that's amazing. Allow instructors to build a scalable business on their platform. And Udemy, a year from now, should probably have 10 million companies. That's what it should do. That's really what it should be. And the rest will fall into place. Some of those people will go to UFB, some of them won't. It doesn't really matter. If I was making $10 million a year, I don't make $10 million a year, but if I was making $10 a year on Udemy, that'd be great, right? It needs to, the e-learning industry needs to take cues from the software industry and the games industry if it wants to survive. And the reason why I make these videos is that Udemy is the unelected leader of this space. And just like the App Store was the unelected leader of the mobile space, and how Steam is the unelected leader of PC gaming space, right? In terms of, like, you know, small businesses, right? And we want to see, again, if we can get 10 companies to build, you know, to get $10 million of revenue on Udemy, that is a huge win. 100 million of revenue for Udemy right there, which is more than what the marketplace is. And then I'm just talking about 10 companies. And if those 10 companies can build scalable businesses, the marketplace will be huge, right? And we will start to see a lot more growth. But it seems like every single policy decision they make, they really don't want to do that. Sell subscriptions. And frankly, it's not going to work, because there's a huge disconnect between what people want a Udemy course to be and the subscription model, right? It's more like a bookstore rather than like a complete e-learning company like Duolingo. If they wanted to do that, they could add in more software, but they don't do that either, which is a topic for a whole other video. So, in conclusion, one of the things I would like to see Udemy do, and what I think the stock would do, or would do better on, is if they allowed instructors to just have a lot more freedom over the price that they charge here. And they should pretty much get rid of the differential pricing. I think it's a mistake. And just let instructors charge what they want. Eliminate all the restrictions on free coupons, all the restrictions on time. Just get rid of that. If they revert a lot of the platform to the way it was working in 2015, you will probably start to see a lot more growth, right? Because what happens, and I see this every day, because, you know, I see this all the time. What they do, Udemy that is that, or what instructors do, is they don't want to go on Udemy at all. They just want to sell their courses on their own site. And that's a huge mistake. Because one of these days, a scalable marketplace will come out, and that is going to be terrible for Udemy stock. Right? And again, I don't think Udemy is necessarily a short, right? I think it's a great product. It seems like it's run by a lot of people who don't really understand the exact the reason why people buy Udemy courses in the first place, right? And they could. And they also don't realize the reason why instructors go to teach on Udemy. It's not the same as a teacher, right? If you go to want to become a teacher and you want to be a Udemy instructor, they're not the same. If people want to learn in school or learn online, specifically Udemy, they're not the same. And they just, like, from a street level, they don't quite get it, right? And that's a huge problem. So again, more freedom, of what I can do with my courses on Udemy and allow businesses to scale up to $10 million a year, right? Or more, right? Or more. That would be great. We want to see a lot more people and a lot more businesses scale up to 10, maybe even 20 million. Maybe the top Udemy company this time next year makes $20 million. And if the top company can do that, then guess what? The rest of the platform and even the single instructors will be richer, because I talked about how they can do that with an algorithm, all right? So that concludes this video. I want to know your thoughts down below. Should Udemy allow more freedom here? Is the subscription model good or is it bad for the stock? And again, do you think Udemy is a short at all? Please let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.